The seductive styling of the 2022 Mazda CX-9 elevates your idea of what a three-row CUV can be.
Get 0% financing on a new Mazda CX-9 at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
Howdy.
Now it's a show.
Yes, it is. Happy Monday, everybody.
It's been a while
I
since
know,
the three
I
of us
missed
have
y'all.
been together.
It's the Motley Crew is back
Oh,
together. I
definitely.
love it.
How's the
I
trip?
missed y'all. It was good. I got to see my parents.
Oh, there you go.
I call it administration week, so it's a lot of like translating things from Korean to English, calling GE to come fix the refrigerator.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, well,
okay.
it's funny because my dad, he speaks broken English, but it's good English, but sometimes he explains things in Korean. I'm like, I don't think the GE guy knows what you're
Right.
saying. He's just shouting, the compressor's broken, and then continues to ramble in Korean. It's like, that's why I'm here to make the call. You don't need to shout. It's okay.
Is this on video?
I was about to say, it sounds like it could be a good reality show.
It probably could. It
This
probably
sounds
could.
fantastic.
A lot of frustrating laughter.
A weekend with the coach.
Yes.
Coming to WAFB Plus. Well, by the way, welcome to WAFB Plus every 9:15, Monday through Friday, kind of getting you through it. Welcome to the first day of spring, Cap.
Look, you know me, right?
He was trying to bring you the
already
cold
kinda-
that you like.
Yeah.
I kind of reprimanded you earlier.
That
this
is
morning.
true.
He
That
did.
is true.
He's like,
I
play.
want no part of this cold weather on
No.
the first day of spring.
You're right, man. This is just, like, I'm a fan of the cool weather. Obviously, when it gets into the wintertime here, I'm like,
Yeah.
give me them upper 40s, give me them low 50s. This is ridiculous. What are we at right now?
mean,
Well, we're still in the 30s many areas.
Okay.
Good news is this is going to be short-lived. If
Okay.
you don't like it, it's not going to be around long.
Yeah.
They give you a look outside this morning. The sunshine can be deceiving. We've seen plenty of it, but even with that, it's been an awfully cold start. It's our Sky 9 camera brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake. All right, let's give you a look at how cold it got this morning. Baton Rouge, New Roads 30, a little bit atypical. Gonzales got several degrees cooler, down to 27. Hammond, Bogalusa, Slidell, 27. Macomb, 25, right on the cusp of a hard freeze up around Macomb. But basically, it was a fairly widespread light freeze. Places like Patterson, New Iberia, barely escaping. But most of South Louisiana in on a light freeze this morning. An unusual light freeze here in Baton Rouge. Our average last freeze is February 24th. So today's March 20th, about a month almost after our average last freeze. Not the latest on record, which is April 13th. Believe it or not, we've had one as late as that, but still way later than we typically see a freeze in our part of the world. So as I mentioned, still many, if not most areas in the 30s. Baton Rouge, New Roads, 37. These are our actual air temperatures at 9 a.m. Hammond, 36. Gonzales has rebounded up to an even 40 degrees. Going to stay cool today, even with a good deal of sunshine. Around 50 at noon, highs only in the upper 50s, which is about 15 degrees below normal on the highs. However, as I mentioned, if you're not a fan of the cold weather, things are going to change here pretty quickly. We go from 59 for a high today up to 73 tomorrow, which is pretty close to normal. And then Wednesday, right on through the weekend, we're back above normal, back into the 80s. We're talking mid to maybe even upper 80s late this week. So it's winter on Monday. You get spring tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's almost like summer. So we're going to squeeze a few seasons all into this 1 week. Now, the other thing we're tracking, giving you a first alert to good rain chances returning on Friday. So we jump ahead here. Here's Friday morning, European model, cold front out to our west, and with that, showers and storms, largely out to our west at that point in time. But they march eastward through the day. So Friday afternoon, Friday evening, showers and storms looking likely. That's 7 o'clock Friday. The front continues eastward so that by the time you wake up Saturday, rain should largely be out of here. So it looks like second Friday in a row that could be kind of active around here. Storm Prediction Center is once again highlighting a severe weather potential early in the game, showing for a good chunk of our area and really a good chunk of the deep south, a level 2 out of 5, slight risk of severe weather on Friday. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's not a slam dunk severe weather event, but there's some potential there. We've got a few days to watch it, so let's keep an eye on it. Rain amounts, another good soaking on the way it looks like as well. This map is not too different from what we were showing you late last week leading into the Friday rain event. So that would be roughly, generally speaking right now, near north of the interstates, 1 to 2 inches of rain, maybe a little bit higher in spots, and an inch or less I-10 southward. So again, we've got a few days to watch that as well, but a pretty good soaking on the way. Staying cool this first official day of spring. Spring actually truly officially begins at 4:24 astronomical spring. That's the equinox occurring tomorrow morning. It's one more cold start, albeit not as cold, but still upper 30s. And then after that, as we talked about, much warmer through the remainder of the week. We get the showers and storms in here Friday. Saturday turns into a really nice day. In the wake of that front, only a minor cool down, mostly with our morning lows. By Sunday into early next week, a few showers return, but other than this little cold spell right now, once we get beyond tomorrow morning, it looks like a fairly mild, if not at times warm, 10-day outlook, guys.
I'm thinking,
Not too bad.
I think I got to mow on Wednesday. I think that looks like a
Oh,
pretty
that's some
decent-
good
Yeah,
planning.
actually, looks really, I'll tell you what, Matt.
Yeah.
For me, not being a fan of the cool weather, I
Yeah.
actually mowed at my house
Yeah,
yesterday.
and?
It's been a
think?
couple of weeks, grass getting pretty hot.
Yeah, me too.
It was good mowing weather.
You're
yesterday.
right. There's no sweat
Yeah,
involved.
there
Yeah.
was literally not a drop, which you never have.
Oh, gosh,
Yeah.
no. You almost want to put on a jacket while you're running a lawnmower, which, like,
Wow.
Yeah, I was cutting grass in long sleeves, which I can't remember.
How
last time
about
I
it?
did
Get
that
it.
either.
yeah, I think I could have probably done it yesterday, but I wimped out. So maybe Wednesday, because Steve's got
You gotta
the
plan
the full-
ahead.
I know.
Yeah.
Looking good right there. So, all right, there you go.
Okay,
Cap,
cool.
thanks, man.
Yep.
Okay, so getting ready for that to come, of course, the roller coaster ride here in South Louisiana, world of weather. But think about the cold temperatures right now. Think about where we started. Think about where we are still right now.
Yeah.
And think about those who are dealing, many of them chronically, with homelessness. And there's a lot in our area.
And how often have we talked about this growing issue
Sure.
across our area? Not only veterans, but just everyday people who are ending up in this situation. The pandemic didn't really help that cause, but City Parish actually received a pretty big bulk of money
No kidding.
to devote to this problem and fixing it and finding a solution here. And they actually released a 60-page action plan that Callie Hubbard looked through to find out exactly how this money is going to be divided up and spent.
So it's about a $5 million pool of money to be accessed here and used in these different areas. And so to Liz's point, Callie got a chance to look through it, talk with the folks and see where this money could possibly go. The thing is, they still want public input with all of this.
Yeah.
And to that end, there's actually a meeting 6 o'clock this evening, downtown library, to kind of look into all this.
Yeah.
So when we talk about homelessness down here, when we talk about think like those, again, chronically homeless, domestic violence survivors who sometimes maybe have nowhere to go.
Needing
There are
shelter.
exactly there are places to go here, and we can talk about that, and we have talked about that. Veterans as well,
Yeah.
who are just kind of left out with nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Could some of this money begin to be used to actually literally build something new? Were they talking about things like tiny homes, a
Right.
community just built, purpose built for these folks for this situation?
And depending on the need, obviously, you're talking about major different
Right, yes,
categories.
very.
How can that money best be served towards different populations that are definitively homeless?
Right.
All of that is going to be up for discussion tonight. That's
Big
a
cover.
lot to talk about.
It is, and if you think about Baton Rouge actively trying to do something like this,
Yeah.
I mean, when we talk about caring for those who are just at their lowest, perhaps their weakest, I mean, nothing is more human than doing that, caring
Yes.
for those. So maybe some steps taken here in the right direction. Certainly with the conversation, you can be part of it.
If you've got ideas, tonight, Main Library, 6 o'clock.
Okay, so that's going on tonight. This is going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, are you looking for a new job?
Well, I don't know. Are you telling me something?
No, I'm very happy here. I missed you guys all week.
Yeah,
but
well,
if
I
you
missed you.
are looking for a job, if your friend, if your mama,
Hey,
if your
mama
dad,
now.
if somebody's looking
Yeah,
for
I
a
know.
job and you're thinking about maybe becoming a mobile equipment operator, maybe you've never done it before, but maybe you said, well, I need some money. Today, actually right now, DOTD is hosting a job hiring event and they would love you to be a part of it. They're actually willing to hire people on the spot.
That's what they're saying, right? So what they need from you is to head on. You know where their headquarters is, Capitol Access Road in Baton Rouge?
Yeah.
It's actually not too far from here. That's where you want to be. Again, right now until 3 o'clock, they do need you to bring that driver's license. Of course, if you're driving over there, you should have that already, right? But also the Social Security card of yours, because if there is that on-the-spot job available and maybe they want to hire you, that's a couple of things that they're going to need. Maybe you get going that quickly.
Yeah.
But speaking of quickly, it's going on right now. It ends at 3 o'clock,
Yeah.
so make your way over.
Kicked off about an hour ago,
Yeah.
so you never know how many people may show up.
Correct.
Show up presentable. Make sure you bring all the equipment, the documents that Matt just mentioned, and you never know.
Never
it
know.
could be your next opportunity.
Right. Okay, so that's going on today.
Ooh.
This is a deadline tomorrow, but
Yes.
it's important enough we want to make sure you know about it today because maybe you can get it taken care of today.
Yeah, let's talk about voting. Early voting wrapped up on Saturday. If you did not vote this weekend and you don't want to go to the polls this coming Saturday,
Right.
absentee ballot. Your deadline to request that absentee ballot is going to be tomorrow, 4:30 p.m.
Right.
Easy to request one.
It is simple. So get that done. Again, we tell you this today so that maybe it's not the very last minute tomorrow. You still
Right.
got a little bit of time. And then once you do request that, fill it out, all that fun stuff. Got to get it back by this Friday at 4:30, so the day before the election. Okay, what do I got to do to go through all that? How do I fill this out? What am I looking at? GoVote.com is the website to know.
Easy.
It's really simple. It kind of walk you through a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you want to see maybe the sample ballot where you're going to be voting, and because early voting is over, your main location is going to be good to go next
Correct.
Saturday, right? GoVote.com will have that for you. The app as well.
Yeah, we actually have all of the links waiting for you in this story. Our digital team has already come up with it and figured that out. So it's waiting for you right now in this story.
I'm going to get to this in a quick minute.
Yep.
I want to tell you a little bit about this as well. This was one of the headline makers
Yes.
over the weekend. My
Oh,
goodness.
So let's start with Friday, right? Friday, you're watching the LSU team, and I tell you what, it looked a little bit rough. It looked a little bit rough based on how Matt and I were talking this morning about how Sunday was going to go based on Friday. Did not look too hot.
Yeah, and so, there was a lot of folks looking to be like, oh, look, you're a 3 seed coming in here, let's dominate.
Yeah.
I was talking with some friends after, they're like, man, if LSU plays like this, again on Sunday,
Right.
they can just get run out of the building, their own building by bit. What happened was, and yes, there's something to be left for the offensive. Look, they'll tell you that as well. Their field goal percentage was not great on Sunday. The defense was electric, just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Angel Reese has mentioned going for that double-double, and plus a half a dozen blocks as well. It was the defense, and to hear him talk after the game, like, it really was a showcase on defense. But now the competition really increases. They're taking on a 2 seed next Friday.
Yeah, they are.
Utah.
Ooh, it's a big deal. It's
It
a big
is.
deal.
It is
So
a big deal.
we'll see how both offensive and defensively how they play and see how it all pans out. But we are moving on to the Sweet 16.
We are.
Big time.
Big time. Before we get over to Steve, Steve is the one who just handed me this. I want to let you know because this is one of those stories that captured the attention immediately, and it was not just here. A suspect has now been arrested in Nathan Millard's disappearance. Of course, we talked a lot about him, the businessman from Georgia, who was, of course, missing for a while, and then a body found. You may know the name here as well. Derek Perkins, 45 years old, today has now been arrested for his involvement in the improper disposing of his body. So, of course, it was in the EBR Parish Prison already for that relative that access device charge prior to his arrest.
For using his cards.
Exactly, his cards had been used somewhere else,
Yeah.
already sitting in prison.
Wow.
He was not going to be getting out of prison because of a violation previously, so that's where he continues to be, but now officially arrested in connection with this for the improper disposing of Millard's body. That's brand new for you this morning.
Wow, that is just developing now in the last 15 minutes. So we are working to get this up on our website right now, but the latest coming to you here on 9 News Now on WAFB+. We're going to continue to follow the story and make sure it's updated.
Oh, yes.
As we learn more, because as you can imagine, Baton Rouge Police still investigating and asking him questions here to figure out exactly, what happens next. So as we continue to follow that story, we'll pass along those updates to the 9 News app. But let's take a breather here.
Yes, please.
Right? On this Monday morning, sure, it is cold,
Yeah.
but I tell you what, sun. I'll
Yeah.
take every bit of that sun that
No
you brought
doubt,
us.
yes.
Yeah,
That's
it's up there. It's
awesome.
going to start working, and there's not too many clouds out there either, so it's going to be it's a lot of. It'll be good.
Especially after Saturday too. So, quick fun story.
Uh-oh.
I got back late Saturday night. I got to miss the parade, one of the best parades in Baton Rouge.
absolutely.
But I was at Trader Joe's on Sunday getting groceries, and the person in front of me was checking out, and they were asking each other, "Did you go to the parade?" Nah. And then the girl was actually like, "No, I was actually watching the weatherman on Friday, and he was saying that there was sleet coming." It was cool. It was cool.
It
I was
did
a
shut
young
up for about
girl
5
watching the
minutes.
weather. Yeah, but it
it's
deterred
crazy.
her from going because she said she hates the cold. Absolutely hates the cold.
Yeah, she was not alone. A lot of people were not happy with it.
Yeah.
But it was also kind of like we talked about We get a little bit of light rain, whatever, but it wasn't going to be a major impact. And what did come down mostly came before the parade even rolled.
Yeah, it sounds like it was a good day.
Yeah, it was chilly.
It was cold, but I tell you what, it was so many. It was one of the longest parades. So many floats. And by the end of it, you were warm because you were wearing all the beads. It was good, and the cold didn't seem to dampen too many spirits. Man, there was a lot of people out there.
It's awesome. 2.5 hours, you said that?
Well,
parade
it was long. Yeah, from start to finish, where we were, from the beginning with the Clydesdales to the tail end with the fire truck, like 2.5 hours. Man,
That's a good bit.
So many beads. Donations coming.
Yes.
Right.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Okay. Speaking of pretty colors, it was all green there. Got something else for you. This is my wife is a gigantic fan of orchids. I'm a huge fan of orchids.
Okay.
I love doing that as opposed to like just random flowers because you can typically keep them alive a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't try to take care of them,
Human
my
error.
wife does. In Japan, have you seen this? Look at this.
Wow. Hey,
What?
those are kind of Mardi Gras colors.
It's crazy.
You're right, it is. Scientists discovering a new species of orchid. The pink and white blooms of the flowers so delicate they kind of look like, I mean, if you look at them, they kind of look like glass, almost like fake.
Yeah.
It was identified in parks, gardens, planters near Tokyo.
Okay.
Now the flower, it's a neighbor to population. It's kind of a related orchid common in the country. But scientists say, look, understand, important reminder that unknown species often live just right under our noses waiting to be rediscovered again. The finding published in, I didn't even know this existed, but of course, why not? The Journal of Plant Research.
Yeah, it was crazy to me when we ran this morning to hear that this was near Tokyo.
Wasn't seen before.
I mean, how many millions of people we have in Tokyo?
Right.
What is Tokyo now? Is it like 15 million people?
I wouldn't doubt it.
And the fact that this was under everybody's noses.
Yes.
Look at it, it's gorgeous.
I know.
Can we get that over here?
But I wonder temperature-wise. So it does look like it's glass, but you wonder because it's so cold if that's why it does so well and it thrives in colder temperatures like that.
Could be. Could be.
Man.
We got to get reading on the Journal of
Journal of Plant
Plant
Research.
Research.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not on the list? The plant,
I've got to get up my subscription.
Be added to that list, sir.
Is that a bi-monthly or how do they?
Good question. How about we
we'll look
task
into
you
it.
with that? Yeah, and find out. We'll report back. So should we keep things abroad or should we
Wherever you feel like
go
taking
to a
us.
park? I don't know. How about we go to New Mexico?
Okay.
Pop back in. So you were saying that, these are found in some parks in Japan near Tokyo.
Sure.
How about we take you to a park in New Mexico? They're actually looking for a specific type of people. They're looking for professional bear huggers.
What?
Yeah. Have a look. Yeah, that is a little bear. So if you love the outdoors and maybe you're not afraid of interacting with the occasional bear. That's how they worded it. There might be a job for you there in New Mexico. The state's Department of Game and Fish actually posting on Facebook that they're looking for professional bear huggers. You heard that right. That's how they're listing the job. The agency's looking to hire conservation officers, and the interactions with bears is just one part of the job. The department says the job is actually guaranteed to bring someone the experience of a lifetime. You can imagine in that region, you're bound to see different types of wildlife and game. So if you're interested, you have until March 30th to apply. You got about 10 days to submit an application to become a professional bear hugger.
I gotta admit, sometimes when I travel and you go to these neat, beautiful places
Yeah.
with the nice hikes and terrain and all that, and beautiful parks. If I had younger years to redo, that would have been fun to do.
Bear
You're
hugging?
right. You're right. That would have been really cool.
College or right out of college.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know
as
what?
a
That would
young
have been
adult.
cool. That would have
Yeah.
been. I mean, I got to grow up in some fun places like that and take some. But I'm looking at these humans and the tiny bears, and I'm like, you see a picture like that, and there's a bear missing from this picture. Mama bear. Where's Mama bear
That's
right
a
now?
really good point.
I mean, just still knocked out and hibernating maybe because they are like elbow deep into the den
But
there.
you saw her go into the den.
Yeah,
I wonder, maybe something happened to
Maybe,
Mama,
you
and they're
know what?
rehabilitating
Yeah,
them.
maybe that's what the huggers are all about.
Maybe.
I found Mother Goose yesterday on my bike.
Ooh,
ride.
Steve has a story for you.
So good. Tell us about. Okay, so you just going for a little bike ride, kind of around the.
Yeah, so I was riding around Women's Hospital. And first thing I noticed, they got a couple of the flower beds covered, getting ready for the freeze, snapping pictures, circle around the hospital. And there's always geese around there.
Yeah.
There's lots of geese around there. But I'm coming up, and I see one running, which they're normally really slow, those geese.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is kind of weird. And but I'm not getting super close. I pass these all the time.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this thing is honking. There's another one honking. Starts flying right at me.
Oh, no.
Not happy. So I kind of hook a left on my bike. Here comes what I think is Father Goose up on the left.
What
These
in the
two literally
world?
like
It's
surround.
like a
me.
pincer maneuver.
Yeah.
You're about to get ambushed.
Meanwhile, people up in the hospital are probably like getting a good
Woo,
laugh.
a
watching
good
me
show.
I escaped unharmed.
Yeah. Phew, I'm glad you made it, Steve.
It really was. I turned a couple of
Yeah.
different times, and they just kind of kept going. I was like, oh boy.
You know, with cameras everywhere, this
I
is
know, it's got to be recorded.
it's got to be somewhere.
Yeah. I just,
Gotta be.
as you were telling the story, in my mind, I'm hearing deet, 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 deet.
Exactly,
He's on
exactly.
the bicycle and the geese are chasing.
Oh, man.
I'm glad you made it out alive. Geese can be actually really scary
Yeah, I
if
was
you
in
upset the right
Tennessee
one.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Black bears, all that did fine.
Yeah.
Right by Women's Hospital. The
Geese.
Well,
Come get me.
ferocious.
Man, did you get
I
attacked
know
by a
some
bear?
people don't like. I think the Canadian geese are beautiful. A little bit.
Sure.
You know, they leave
Aside from the
some
poop,
stuff behind.
yeah.
They do.
But they're beautiful.
They
Yeah,
are
they're gorgeous.
majestic.
They're
You're
gorgeous.
right.
And
Until they're
I've
flying
seen them
at
get a little aggressive before, but
Until you're the prey.
That was the closest call.
That's so
I've
good.
had.
Sweetie, you ain't gonna believe what just happened to me. Are you okay?
Yeah,
I don't know.
saw someone from the hospital
so,
call.
Getting long-winded here, but anyway, so I tweeted out last night. As I escape,
Yeah.
I looked down at my phone. I was going to text my wife.
Yeah.
She, in the interim, has texted me a picture of a frozen fruit recall. It's like Costco and
Oh,
Trader
yeah.
knowing that I make smoothies with frozen
Right,
fruit.
sure.
So I'm like, great. So
Oh.
if the geese don't get me, it's
It's
going to
gonna
be
be-
my smoothies.
Which way do you want to
You know,
go
watch
out?
out for the geese and
Yeah.
smoothies. That's your lesson.
Wow.
We shouldn't have left the house and just
Well,
stuck
good
with the
thing we
fries.
know that on a
Yeah,
Monday. That's a
exactly.
good. That's a
Oh
good
my
virtuous
goodness.
wisdom.
All right, so let's end with something happier.
God,
Yes.
please, yes, okay.
You know who wouldn't mind the cold weather this morning?
Who that?
The Finns.
Ah.
The
And
Finns.
they're apparently like the happiest people in the world.
What?
Finland once again topping the World Happiness Report. It was released on Monday and measures social support, income, health, freedom, generosity, and the absence of corruption to determine the country's
that
I like that. That's a
national-
parameter.
Yeah. We'll get to the U.S. in a moment.
Oh, God.
So Finland topping the list for a 6th straight year. They're followed by Denmark, Iceland, all these cold places.
Maybe
Wow,
so
there's
numb they
something to
can't
be
feel anything.
said.
Maybe there is something to it.
They're numb.
There's Israel, the Netherlands. The Netherlands, I can go another route with that one. Wow. Sweden, Norway, more.
They're all cold.
Wow.
Switzerland, Luxembourg, and New Zealand.
Huh.
New Zealand is one of those places I'd love to visit. It
Yes.
looks absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
All right, so according to the report, most populations around the world continue to be remarkably resilient despite several crises such as the COVID-19
Right.
pandemic, the global energy crisis, high inflation, and the war in Ukraine. More generally, it says people are happier living in countries where the happiness gap is smaller.
Okay.
If y'all figure out what that is.
Tell me how that's measured.
Yeah, I try to look for that.
Yeah.
All right, so
Interesting.
new in the top 20 this year, Lithuania. But as you might expect, war-torn Afghanistan, Lebanon, they remain two of the unhappiest countries. All right, so about
Yeah,
the
where are
US,
we?
y'all want to guess?
I'm curious.
So wait, how many countries, do we know how many are ranked? Are we
This,
like
so I'll
like
tell you,
all?
137.
Okay.
137 ranked?
Well,
so-
all the other places are cold.
I'm going to go, okay, extremely pessimistic. I'm going
Yeah.
to go 84.
I'm thinking 30s. I'm thinking 30s.
Liz Coe's the winner.
What?
15.
15.
Really? I
We
went
made
really
top 20?
pessimistic. We made the top 20.
There's probably, it's got to be some measure of wealth.
Yes.
Even though
Got
we've
to
got
be.
plenty of poverty in this country,
Right.
the U.S. as a whole does better. The basic needs, water.
Sure.
Right.
Don't have to work.
Power.
Right. Yeah, we do pretty well.
I imagine some of that comes in.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I was just going up the absolute
80.
extreme pessimism.
And it does depend on
Wait
what
for
it-
this
what it's
survey.
based
You
off
heard the
of.
political corruption.
I did.
Right.
Exactly.
Absence of.
Right.
Wow,
It's really
Finland.
happy to say.
There's
Yeah.
something
It's
out.
very good
All the
sports.
countries you mentioned do
Strong
have some
exercise and
kind of
everything,
cold
but
tide to it. So, okay, maybe snow is the answer. Ice.
I don't know.
Is
I
it?
got to completely change my line of thinking now.
Well,
you
we've
go.
got some time to think about
There
it
you
and
go.
ponder. Today's
Yeah.
going to be kind of chilly.
I guess I'll just go stand outside, see
Yeah.
how long it lasts, and
Ponder
how long
life.
it takes to get a smile going.
Okay,
And how long it
Confucius.
stays because it's frozen on your
Yeah.
face.
Maybe that's it.
But as Steve has shown you, cold today, but the warm up, boy, it kicks into gear as the week moves
Yes,
on.
indeed. So about 24 more hours of chilly temps, and then much warmer. We're into the 80s by Wednesday, and get ready for some rain on Friday.
At the Team Automotive Group, we make it easy for you to buy here or sell here. Buy here and save on hundreds of certified and pre-owned vehicles. Or sell here while your vehicle is worth more than it ever has been, and we'll pay you top value. Buy here or sell here at the Team Automotive Group.